What if the thing holding you back in life is not the fear of failure? What if it's something far more dangerous and far more hidden? The fear of success. Welcome back to Human Game Theory. Today we're talking about one of the most misunderstood and least discussed psychological phenomena affecting millions of people worldwide. A fear so invisible, so counterintuitive, that most people spend their entire lives being controlled by it, without ever knowing it exists. Let's start with something that might sound familiar. You have a goal. A real one. Something you genuinely want, a business, a career change, a relationship, a version of yourself you've been dreaming about. And you work toward it. Sometimes. But then something happens. You get close. Really close. And suddenly, you self-sabotage. You miss the deadline. You start an argument for no reason. You suddenly find 100 reasons why now is not the right time. You tell yourself you're just being realistic. You tell yourself you're protecting yourself from disappointment. But here's the question nobody asks: what if you're not afraid of failing? What if you're afraid of what happens if you actually succeed? Psychologists call this fear of success. And it is far more common than anyone admits. Studies show that a significant percentage of high-achieving people, doctors, entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, unconsciously sabotage their own success at critical moments. Not because they are weak. Not because they don't want it. But because success carries its own invisible threats that the brain perceives as danger. So what exactly is the brain afraid of? Let's break it down. Fear number 1, the fear of change. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. It loves predictability. It loves knowing what comes next. And success, real success, changes everything. Your daily routine. Your relationships. Your identity. Your responsibilities. To your brain, change is not exciting. Change is a threat to survival. So when success gets close, your brain hits the emergency brake. Not to hurt you, but to protect you from the unknown. Fear number 2, the fear of new expectations. Right now, if you fail, it hurts. But it's familiar. You know how to handle disappointment. You have practice. But if you succeed, suddenly the expectations change. People expect more from you. You expect more from yourself. And the pressure of maintaining that success, of living up to that new version of you, can feel more terrifying than never trying at all. Fear number 3, the fear of losing relationships. This one is the most painful and the least talked about. When you grow, not everyone grows with you. When you succeed, some people around you will feel threatened, jealous, or left behind. Friends who knew the old you. Family who defined you by your struggles. A partner who was comfortable with you being smaller. Your unconscious mind knows this. And sometimes, it chooses to stay small to keep the peace. To stay connected. To not lose the people it loves. Fear number 4, the fear of your own power. For many people, especially those who grew up being told they were too much, too ambitious, too loud, too different, success feels dangerous in a deeply personal way. Like stepping into a version of yourself that the world told you was not allowed. And the closer you get to that version, the stronger the internal voice that says, "Who do you think you are?" Now let's talk about how this fear actually shows up in real life. Because it almost never announces itself. It disguises itself as procrastination. As perfectionism, waiting until everything is perfect before you launch, before you apply, before you try. As sudden illness or exhaustion right before a big opportunity. As picking fights with the people closest to you right when things are going well. As losing interest in a goal the moment it becomes actually achievable. As convincing yourself that you don't really want it anymore, right when you were about to get it. These are not character flaws. These are not laziness or lack of discipline. These are the fingerprints of a fear you didn't know you had. So how do you overcome it? Step 1. Name the fear. Most of this fear operates in the dark. It loses enormous power the moment you shine a light on it. Sit down and honestly ask yourself, what would actually change if I succeeded? What would I lose? What would be expected of me? Who might I disappoint or leave behind? Write it down. Name it. Because you cannot fight an enemy you refuse to acknowledge. Step 2. Separate your identity from your current circumstances. Many people unconsciously believe that their struggles are who they are. That their limitations are their personality. That the version of themselves that is stuck, broke, or unfulfilled is somehow the real them. It is not. Your circumstances are not your identity. And the version of you that succeeds is not a different person, it is simply you, without the invisible weight of fear. Step 3. Redefine what success means to you. A lot of fear of success comes from chasing someone else's definition of it. The big house. The impressive title. The life that looks good on the outside. When your version of success is not truly yours, your unconscious mind will resist it. Get radically clear on what you actually want. Not what you should want. Not what would impress people. What would make you feel genuinely alive? Step 4. Make peace with the changes that success will bring. Instead of avoiding the thought of change, go toward it. Visualize specifically what your life looks like after you succeed. Who might drift away? What new responsibilities you will have? What the new version of your daily life looks like. When you have looked at the change directly and stopped fearing the unknown, your brain stops hitting the brake. Step 5. Get comfortable with visibility. Fear of success is very often fear of being seen. Of being judged. Of standing out. Practice being visible in small ways every day. Share your work. Speak up in the room. Put your name on things. The more comfortable you become with being seen, the less power the fear has over you. Here's the truth that human game theory is built on. The biggest obstacle between you and the life you want is almost never external. It is internal. It is invisible. And it is wearing the disguise of practicality, of humility, of protection. But it is fear. A fear you did not choose. A fear that was installed in you by experiences, by relationships, by a world that sometimes told you, consciously or unconsciously, that you were not meant for more. That fear was understandable then. But you are here now. Watching this. Asking questions. And that means you are ready to see it for what it is. Not a truth about who you are. Just a fear. And fears, when named, understood, and faced, lose their power. You were not born to sabotage yourself. You were born to play the game at full capacity. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to Human Game Theory. And drop a comment. Where in your life do you think you have been afraid of your own success? I want to know. See you in the next episode.